Welcome to our presentation. Decided to pick salsa as our form of dance style in the context of
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3.
in relation to the differences and similarities and the current representation of the style. Salsa originated from dances such as the danzón and the son.
The contemporary salsa trade traces back to the African slave trade in between 1518 and 1886, when slavery was abolished.
After that, enslaved Africans were brought to Cuba.
The conflicts that arose as a result of interactions between Africans and European ethnic groups are embedded in the Cuban music.
The movements in salsa occurred as a result of social interaction.
And there were no main pioneers or choreographers of salsa which developed this style as such.
Main pioneers of modern salsa included composers, musicians, and dancers from movement.
These pioneers were primarily from the working class.
These people were still under racial segregation.
We found a quote by Sheena Petra Bruno. During the birth of modern salsa in the late 1960s and 70s, this musical expression was a vehicle to articulate the oppression of the Puerto Rican diaspora.
We decided to pick a scene from Street Dance 2 because it portrays a battle scene using salsa and elements of breakdancing, allowing us to explore and analyse the culture and touching upon the history. The main instruments that make up the salsa beat are the congas, the cymbals, the brass, the trumpet, the bass, the cowbell, the piano, the clave and the gyro. Looking at the video, we thought the director used this song Quimbara by Celia Cruz because it has a contrast of various pages which determine the energy. It consists of very high energetic beats which continually happens throughout the whole song, emphasising the fact that it is a battle scenario. However, the first 30 seconds, the beat is consistent, medium paced and consists mainly of classical salsa bongos, hi-hats and occasional echoing female singing samples. This demonstrates the build-up and allows the impressive movements to be emphasised by the clear hi-hat sounds. But as the salsa male dancer jumps into the ring, whilst replacing the breakout, that's when the song gains energy and pace. This is determined by the clear and sharp trumpet sound, which brings the whole atmosphere to life, and allowing other instruments such as the bass and the clave to be involved. Also throughout, Celia's voice changes from soft and dawdling to firm and wildly fast. This allows dancers to hit every single beat of the instruments. The fast beats actually fit within the dynamics of the movements of breakers, and this made us think that the singer was voicing the fast beats to represent spinning elements of salsa and breaking.
Following on from that, as soon as the dancer does the flip at the start, we get the impression that he has no experience in salsa, and the woman, she realizes this and she starts to sort of play around with him. For example, as you saw the way she grabbed his hand, he shows that she's in control. We feel like the director chose these specific movements to show that salsa is not just seen as a hot and spicy dance, but that it can also take on other styles. And also, the female dancer is kind of like taking ownership in her moves. And looking back at the old salsa era, it's always like the male is always in control, and it's clear to see that time is like evolving. Throughout the video, there's various beat movements happening. But what really stood out for us is when both male dancers held the female like this, and she was kicking her legs like that. Having read that beat, that move in unpredictable patterns is related to the environment. So what I'm trying to say is that this can like link back to history, because in the early salsa lyrics were often political, exposing oppression, poverty and violence. And the way the female dancer was kicking her legs is sort of like she's going through sexual abuse, but yeah, she's begging for freedom.
In terms of the costumes, the main salsa girl wearing all black short dress and black heels, this demonstrates the dominance of the girl and may highlight the mystery in her persona due to the dark colours worn. Therefore, benefiting the scene as it shows that salsa in itself hides impressive movements through intricate detail or complicated steps. Breakers wearing bright colours, open shirt and white t-shirt underneath shows oppositely relaxed nature of breaking, and in this scene in particular demonstrates the difference between salsa and breaking through clothing styles and colour choices. Also, main male salsa dancer was wearing similar clothes to the breaker, which demonstrates the similarity between the two styles in this video. Furthermore, both groups of dancers wearing loose clothing which looks casual and with urban accessories, for example caps, which shows that both styles have evolved socially and informally.
Looking at the scene specifically, we picked out certain things that meant something to us. So we felt that the boxing ring gives connotations of fighting, which relates to the concept of a battle. We also felt as though the ropes that are outskirting the ring gave a sense of territory. We felt like this highlighted the idea of cultural identity in a strong community, which relates back to the origins of salsa. An example when we see this is when the male salsa dancers intimidate the breaker actually out of the ring. Although we don't get clear visuals of the crowd throughout, at the beginning we hear the crowd booing the breaker. We thought this could imply the female salsa dancer is very well supported, which also relates to the idea of the community. We also noticed the audience responds to certain movements with excitement and shock. An example of that is when the male dancer pulls the female over his head and she lands on the floor in splits, and the audience cheer. We also thought that the urban-looking location could suggest and reflect the origins of salsa due to its development as a social dance. Furthermore, we found the reasoning behind the scene is the male character is looking for dancers to create a crew and wanted to add a Latin element. In this scene, we see a preview of what the two styles may look like when performed together. In regards with links to history, we found from research by Julie Malnick that ballroom Latin dances originated as a social practice from Latin America, meaning the style was practiced in a fun and relaxed environment. However, the style was then developed and defined in the US and the UK. We found this interesting as although the film is set in London, this scene shows aspects of its origin. We felt like this was the case due to its spontaneous and energetic environment, which related to social practices. We thought that the director of the film may have took into consideration the target audience of the movie, including more accurate historical context would appeal to people interested in dance. We also found from Julie Malnick that salsa is proudly embraced by all Latin communities, and it's vital to them regarding cultural identity and coming together as a community. I feel we gain a strong sense of this in the video For example, there are various moments where the salsa dancers are cheering, applauding and supporting each other. Furthermore, they use close formations in a corner of the ring, giving a sense of territory, enhancing the context of the battle.
We feel that the camera angles played a huge role in this video, and one of them demonstrates a close-up to the salsa girl almost heel kicking the breaker in the crotch area, which shows again domination of the girl and highlights the agility of the salsa dance. The director placed this scene there to demonstrate playfulness of salsa and how it can contain comedic elements as well. One of the points is that there was wide-angle traveling shots used for both street and salsa dancers, which shows the two styles against each other in a still position. The director wanted to portray the fact that both styles are very similar in their movement, which links to the origins of this dance because of breaking and hip-hop originated partly from salsa. This concludes our presentation. Thank you very much for listening.